Hello Shiny viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. When many people think about the ENTJ, they think of an individual who is cold-hearted and distant. To a certain extent, this is true. In many of my previous videos, I talked about how logical an ENTJ can be. The fact is, the ENTJ is a very judgmental individual because TE is our dominant function and TE is a judging function. So we are very inclined to judge. The second thing is, because we think before we act, the ENTJ is not a rash individual. If we make mistakes, we take responsibility for it. It might sound strange, but our sense of strong responsibility is one of the reasons why we are cold to other people. So when an ENTJ makes decision, he or she would have weighed all the pros and cons, understood what the consequences of each road is. And when we have chosen, we take responsibility of our choice. So this can be something very nitty-gritty. Presume I ordered something online and when it comes and arrives, it is not the item that I want, which has happened numerous times before. So there was once I ordered a Big Bang album thinking that it is a music album. When it arrived from Japan, it was a photo album. So at first I thought the album was a Big Bang concert album because on the internet it says concert album. But when it arrived, I received a book documenting the snippets of the concert instead. So it was almost like a magazine, but it was a hard-covered book. So when I received the book, I knew immediately that that was not what I wanted. I flipped through the pages, a few of them, and I was not interested. However, I decided to keep the book. So I did not ask for a return, I did not ask for anything. It's not that it is too much of a hassle, but as an ENTJ, I took responsibility for my decision. So it could have been the fault of other people, so they did not write clearly what an album is. So in any case, I accepted that it was my own fault. The ENTJ is also very likely to attribute fault to a victim. So in our previous episode, we talked about the work ethic of the ENTJ, right? So an ENTJ believes that unless you are bedridden, you can still do work. So if you don't do well in your exams, if you don't do well, then it's your fault. For that, the ENTJ can be really very unapologetic. It is very uncommon for us to blame other people for what has happened to us, even though it could be the other person's fault. So if we fall down, we don't blame the fact that the floor is slippery. We don't ask that person, why did you mop the floor now when I'm just crossing? Sometimes when we make mistakes, it is because we miscalculated, we misjudged, or we were misinformed. So these were all our fault. We accept responsibility for it, and we expect that other people do so for themselves. Because the ENTJ is not very sympathetic of themselves, they are also not very sympathetic of others. So this is also why we don't show empathy much. Everything is our own fault. So if you fail, it's your fault. If you don't do well, it's your fault. If you have already decided to participate in the competition, you go all the way. It's your responsibility. You don't quit halfway. So perhaps this episode can help to give you an idea why the ENTJ may appear very cold and distant at times. Because we are very objective. We set such high standards for ourselves and we also impose this standard on others. And that is regardless of the other person's ability. So in our next episode, I am going to talk about an unexpected extension of today's episode. So do watch out for that. So at Channel NITT, we produce a lot of ENTJ videos like this one that you cannot find anywhere else. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more ENTJ, MBTI and fun stuff. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and I'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.